gonna start something. Do I? Okay, y'all. Who beating this up? All right now.
Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek.
No, not the 1 and 3.
There we go. Please rise in body or spirit. Join Carol, and Diane, and myself in singing.
We're going to establish this groove, y'all.
All right.
Y'all come on in here. Come on in. Don't be scared. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Here we go. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to release about what lies before me. That I need to release. I need to release what lies before me is available to me now. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to accept everything, every little thing that I need to accept about what lies before me is available to me. Now it's available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Now it's available to me through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God. Y'all like that? God. Y'all like that one? God within me. Ooh, they're going to put me out of here. They're going to put me out of here.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Unity of Walnut Creek service. My name is Kat Hill.
And my name is Danae Legan. Welcome to our service. And welcome to Kat for her first way on as a facilitator.
We want to greet and bless everyone who is watching online. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we are grateful you are here with us. Thank you for joining. Please join me in welcoming our featured musician, Carol Manson. Carol is joined by David on keyboards, Dusty on bass, Dan on drums. Lisa is our song leader today. Thank you for your sharing your music with us today. Oh, and Diane. Yes, Diane.
At the last
yes.
Minute, Diane. Cool. Christopher Brown will deliver today's message entitled Why Diversity Matters. Now, you may remember Christopher as our guest speaker on Palm Sunday during our, say this fast 3 times, Spring Speaker Series. There we go. And
we were seekers too.
Yes, we are. And it is a joy to have you with us today.
And before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silent or off as we enjoy this sacred service together.
Let's take a moment to be grateful for this beautiful land that our center rests upon. This is Bay Miwok and Ohlone land.
We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of today and are grateful for those who stewarded this land before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred grounds and Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living, and our vision for the world, let's say this together. We envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
And our mission is who we have come here to be, and let's say this together as well. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. And our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand. And if anybody online would like to join us next week as a newbie, we'd love to have you here. And when you come, you get a packet and you get to go to the bookstore and get a free gift. So please join us. Connection cards are available in the newcomer welcome packet and in the seat pockets in front of you. These are for everyone. And with this card, you can submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information, and please place your card in the basket with the offering. And for those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the Watch Live page at our website. And now, you've all been waiting for. We have several activities to highlight this week. Unity's Tuesday Book Club begins its summer session this Tuesday, June 25th, with a book entitled Living Buddha, Living Christ by Thich Nhat Hanh. Join us in the sanctuary from 2 to 3:30 p.m. for weekly discussions about the book. Become a part of this nurturing and supportive environment where we share our spiritual journeys and uplift one another. Now, this is a fun one. Unity Men's Group and the Earth Care Alliance team invite you to join them. Yeah. That's right. Join them for dinner and a movie on Sunday, July 7th at 6 p.m. They are going to be showing Kiss the Ground, a remarkable documentary that reveals the first viable solution to our climate crisis. This is an amazing documentary, by the way. Oh, cool. Okay. We will learn that by regenerating the world's soils, we can completely and rapidly stabilize Earth's climate, restore lost ecosystems, and create abundant food supplies. Boy, do we need that. This free event begins with a pasta dinner with vegetarian options and a discussion after the 80-minute film. So please sign up on the patio or the website so we'll know how much food for the men's group to prepare. Are you curious about Reverend Kristen's experiences in Egypt during her sabbatical? Yes. Yes. Are you interested in exploring Egypt yourself, even if it is from an armchair? Yes. If so, join Reverend Kristen on Thursday, July 11th for Journey to Egypt in the sanctuary from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Reverend Kristen will present a 30-minute movie showcasing her enriching experiences in Egypt, followed by an open discussion. We look forward to seeing you there. And also save the date for the following Thursday, July 18th, for Journey to Costa Rica with Reverend Kristen. Sounds wonderful. Guess what's coming? Unity's Live on the Lawn concert is back. Did you say live on the lawn? Live on the lawn. Live on the lawn. Live on the lawn. She already bought her ticket. Join us on Saturday, July 13th at 6:30 and groove to the high-energy soul and R&B sounds of the Last Minute Band featuring our own Daniel and Dusty. Be entertained while enjoying a picnic on the lawn. Bring your own picnic or pre-order a delicious taco bar dinner. Concert tickets and optional taco bar dinners may be purchased in the bookstore or on our website, and children's tickets are free. Non-alcoholic beverages, beer, wine, and tickets for our popular wine pool will also be available during the event. Unity's Board of Trustees invites you to an important community meeting or community gathering on Sunday, July 14th at 1 p.m. in the community room. This will be a circle format to hear your questions and provide updates on our community's financial well-being. Together, we will explore ideas for how to stabilize and increase our revenue over time. Please bring your ideas and contribute your energy to a community prayer of attraction. Bring your own lunch to eat before or during the meeting, along with your questions, feedback, and ideas.
Told you there was a lot going on, right?
Always.
Always. For more information and registration for all of our events, please see our website, and our welcome table out in the back has flyers. As we prepare now for our time of meditation, please join me by taking a conscious breath and affirming our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We'll begin with music, followed by a guided meditation and silence. Thank you.
And placing your hand gently on your chest, we will do 3 ohms together, feeling the resonance within the heart, moving from the head to the heart as we say, from this place of gratitude, as we enter the silence that's always been here, always fresh and available, we drop in and we welcome this silence that contains all, that nourishes all, the unseen, the unborn. And so we simply rest, allowing everything to be exactly as it is. As we say, all is well. We give thanks for the silence. The silence that is the doorway to the beloved. And every time we touch the silence, we become more familiar with our inner landscape, our landscape of connection to the oneness, that invisible everythingness. And so in gratitude, we give thanks for this day, for the diversity of all of the plants and animals, and especially the diversity that lives within this room. All of our unique gifts that we brought here today, we give thanks for all of it, exactly the way it is. As we take a breath, we allow a smile to come to our face, knowing that this day is truly blessed, and we are the blessing. And so it is.
Good morning, y'all. Y'all just looking at me? Okay. Beautiful faces. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days and dark sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. they'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I feel like scatting. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, they saying, how do-de-do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Thank you so much.
Oh, you crushed that one. Nicely done. Well, good morning. It's great to be back. Yay! So, it's about diversity. I'm going to start off with talking about two diverse people, Clifford and Daisy. They were married for 65 years. And when they would get in a confrontation, Clifford could be heard in the middle of the night bellowing, "Woman, when I die, I'm going to dig myself out of the grave. I'm going to come back up and I'm going to haunt you." Well, the neighbors all heard this and they were a little afraid of Clifford, and Clifford liked that. But Clifford died. He was 90. And they had the funeral and they came back to the house, and the neighbors said, "Daisy, aren't you kind of worried that Clifford might actually dig himself out of the grave and come back and haunt you?" And she said, "Nah, let him dig. I buried him upside down, and he'll never ask for directions." So here we have people there's a diversity here. In this room, there's an amazing diversity. It's all around us. Clifford and Daisy are not the same people, but they stayed together. Something about their energies complemented each other because of our differences. And it's because of our differences, that is our gift. You know, we think we got to polish ourselves up and so that we can be presentable, but there's something about being in the rough too. That's a teaching in itself. So we have biodiversity. Driving here from Oakland, I was looking at all the trees on the freeway and going, wow, look at all this. and we can just look outside. And when the Europeans came to this continent, they encountered the indigenous people, and they were growing crops very different. This culture, the indigenous people, they had a culture, and there's a story that built up around it called the Three Sisters. And the Three Sisters represented corn, beans, and squash. So what they would do is they would mound the dirt, put a fish in the bottom of it, and they would plant beans, corn, and squash. And the corn would come zooming right out of the ground. It was first to grow. And the beans would go, oh, this is an opportunity, hook themselves around the corn. As the corn grew up went the beans. And so the beans were really benefiting from this. And then the squash would come up, do ground cover, keep the weeds down. So they all grew well together, and they were all unique. But as a team, they were great. Now you might say, well, I don't know about that. Looks like the bean gets the free ride here. I'd like to be a bean. What's going on here? The corn's doing all the work, and then the squash is just laying around. And so we don't look at what's under the soil. In our relationships, we can see the external, and we can judge the external, but we don't have the bigger picture. What's going on under the dirt? And that's where the magic's happening. It's the unseen aspect. Now, underneath, the beans are producing enzymes, and they're doing work on the soil that's beneficial to the corn and the squash. So you can see that all three carry their own weight. Interesting. We're in community. If we look around, we can see that there's a lot of people that are carrying a lot of weight, but there are also other people that play their part. And everybody, in a way, plays their own part. Can we be okay with playing our own part? And if we're called to expand, then we expand. Or if we're called to pull back, we do it. But we play our part. We dance our dance, because that is our gift. Not somebody else's dance, but our dance, my unique dance. So we know biodiversity is really important. We can see it everywhere, but human diversity is equally as important. And I'm talking about age, race, culture, education, financial ability, all of these aspects. But when we think of right off diversity, when I hear it, I go, oh, my initial knee-jerk reaction is to focus it all down. It's black people, white people. That's what diversity means. And that is such a, well, it's true also, but it's such a limited point of view, because it's so much greater. So much greater, and we will see that. So our differences challenge us, and they take us out of our comfort zone into what I like to call our growth zone. So when we're up against something that we don't know, that is out of our comfort zone. But if we do enter into the growth zone, we have to leave our comfort zone and step over here, and that might be a little scary. This is one of the main reasons why we don't necessarily engage with other people that we don't know. We pick people that we do know, that look like us, that are familiar. We think we know who they are, but we all have our own unique story. And it's our differences that make us so unique and so special. But yet, it's difficult in a sense for us to honor our differences. And that's where our growing edge is honoring the differences. Not only honoring them, but welcoming them. So when we get into like a board meeting here at the center, here, there's a lot of diverse opinions, a lot of diverse speaking styles, but there's also a lot of diverse ideas that can come up. And so when the community gets together, as you see you're going to be doing here, ideas on how to increase abundance, you all bring your own ideas. We're richer because you showed up to that meeting. So, not only does you bring your own ideas, but it also brings a fresh focus, a different point of view that's from your unique background. And lastly, it teaches us cooperation, and it teaches us flexibility. When I'm sitting in board meetings, I'm going, God, I wish they'd show up. Shut up, excuse me. I can't take them any more of this talking. And I'm probably the only one, but if they say that one more time, if I hear that story one more time, but if we look back at it, maybe they need to tell that story one more time. Maybe it's the attention that they need. Have I become curious? Have I really looked into the situation, or have my habitual knee-jerk reaction? And what's the spiritual path all about other than unloading our baggage so that we're fresh and clean and alive in the moment? Because as soon as I bring all my beliefs to the table and all my opinions and all of my challenges and I just bring them all in, then I'm tripping over them all the time. If I were to leave them at the door and walk in fresh, I might learn something. I might go from my comfort zone into my growth phase and not have to have all my baggage around all the time. Well, we can tell that when you leave your comfort zone, like Reverend Kristen did, and goes to Egypt, whoa, everything is different. Language, money, food, customs, the way men relate to women. There's a lot of things going on here, a lot to take in. But when you're thrown out of your comfort zone into your growth zone, something very special can happen. Because you open up, because you're forced to. You're forced to listen a little bit deeper. Everything becomes a little bit more available. This is the beauty of travel, and I know you know what I'm talking about. When you travel, you tend to be more available. Yeah. Yeah. So why do we resist? Why do we resist being available, opening? Why don't we just embrace all the cultures and just open up? Well, it's unfamiliar. We don't know. We don't know if this is dangerous or not. We are not familiar with it. Now, when I was growing up, I started out with Honda motorcycles. They had just come over. They were elegant little things. And I loved them. I took them apart. I worked on them, and I ended up being a mechanic. I started working at Oakland Honda, and Oakland Honda also had British motorcycles and Spanish motorcycles, and they were horrible. I didn't like them at all. I was really prejudiced against British motorcycles and Spanish motorcycles. You know I'm talking about people. So here I am. I am not open. I like the elegance of the Japanese. Their motors come together. They come apart like this, and so there's no oil leaking out of the bottom. The British go apart like this. They always leak out of the bottom. Simple as that. Why don't they change? They're horrible. I don't want to work on them. So, plus the wrenches aren't the same. They're their own unique wrenches. Go figure. So, I'm working there, and I need to work on these. And I'm grumbling and grumbling. I'm going, I can't continue grumbling about this. I'm going to have to become a little more curious. So I talked to the Triumph motorcycle mechanic, who's an old guy. And he said, these things are great. They're wonderful. They're antiques. They've been doing it this way for close to 100 years. Why are you fighting this? I said, because they're stupid. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm superior. I know it's best. I'm superior. My way is the best way. They shouldn't be doing it this way. You hear that? My way is best. I'm superior. I'm probably the only one that's had that thought too. So, what Bill, the old mechanic, taught me was to appreciate the difference. He's saying, they've been doing it this way, it's customary. The clients they're building it for expect this. They know how to work on this. If we give them something Japanese, they'll freak out. So they just happen to import them over here where I'm freaking out, but where they were designed for, this works. It's their culture. So you can see that getting to know other cultures might be take a little bit of flexibility. It's a challenge. But I've come to appreciate triumphs. And a while back, I bought a Royal Enfield, so which is one of those antiques. I've since sold it because it leaked. But you can see that the diversity, the fact that I'm now capable of working on not only Hondas, but Kawasaki's and Triumphs and Osas and Bultacos and Ducatis, that I've become more flexible. And that has made me a much better mechanic because each culture has its own way and unique way of doing things, like cooking, like their religion, like their dance and their customs. It's all there if we can appreciate it, if we have the eyes to see. So George Gurdjieff, this rascal of a mystic, lived, he was born in Russia, he was a Greek Armenian, and he had a school in England that was very popular turn of the century, lots of students. And the whole team of his students got together because there was one bad apple in the whole bunch. And they said, we're out of here unless you get rid of this guy. We can't stand him. We just can't stand him. He's not one of us. He doesn't fit here. And Gurdjieff said, okay, leave. Who's going to teach him if we don't? You guys know what's up. You're making your way in the world. But this guy doesn't have a clue. Who's going to teach him if we don't? Who's going to embrace him? Who's going to come close? Who's going to show some concern? Who's going to ask him to dance? Or is he the outcast? Well, somehow word got back to the bad apple, and he took off. He said, I don't need this. And Gurdjieff was upset. And Gurdjieff went out after him to bring him back, and did. He bribed him with money. He said, we need you here because you bring out the shadow in the whole group. You bring out where everyone is stuck and is intolerant. You bring out their conditioning and their prejudices and their points of view. You bring that out. That's invaluable. For your spiritual growth, you need the rough edges to break your edges off. Because when you get two rough edges together, they collide and they sort of smash each other, and you become smoother in the process. And that's the whole idea as we bump up against each other, is that we knock off our rough edges. We become more tolerant, more loving, more accepting. But usually it's not an easy task. We don't like to be pushed around. We don't like to be our little edges bumped up against it. But if this is what's happening in the invisible, though, you might not see it on the outside, but something, every time that you take that risk, that you say something to somebody that you don't know, that looks different than you. You say, hey, hi, how you doing? You're saying I love you. It's in the message, as Carol was saying. But you're reaching out. And what's spirituality really all about than really embracing all of it with an open heart? That's a piece of work. I won't sugarcoat it. It's a piece of work. But we've come here, all of us have come here to become masters. Masters of giving and receiving love. That's it. Yes, if somebody asks you, what's your purpose? It's to give and receive love and to become a master of it. So, what we know is that diversity in its own sense polishes us. It provokes us. It challenges us. And that's the good thing, and that's its purpose. We know diversity is a fact. It's all diverse. Everything is diverse. But what about inclusion? And what about coming together, belonging? How do we get there? That's a choice. Inclusion, how do you reach? That's a choice we make every day. Diversity is already here. But can we reach out and touch the diversity? Can we bring it close? And I like the analogy of diversity is going to the dance and being accepted. You're at the dance, but you're just standing around. Someone walks up to you, takes your hand, and you're out on the dance floor. Now you're included. Now you're in the flow, in the moment. So, Susan and I were on this trip to the Brazilian rainforest. And it was miles and miles and miles up the Amazon, which is about 100 miles wide because it was the flood season. And then we get off, and then we're in these little boats, and it's this retreat center, and then we're going to have this big ceremony in this long house. So like in the middle of the night, we're in this little canoe. It's about that wide in this inky water. There's no electricity. There's nothing. We got a torch on the end of this canoe. I have no idea where we're going. Totally lost. But somebody does, and I'm just completely surrendered. We end up hitting ground, and we can hear drums. So we walk up this little path with a few torches and walk into this longhouse, and there are these dancing going on. There's about 75 people here, and there's flute music, and it's exotic, and these smells, and the dust from the floor, this dirt floor, and wow. So I'm out of my comfort zone immediately, going, this place is going to burn down. Where's the fire door? You know, and I start settling in, and I'm becoming more comfortable. About 45 minutes into it, there's about 6 of these beautiful young ladies come out from the dancers, and they come out into the audience. And one's heading straight for me. How would you feel? You're in your growth mode. So she's heading straight for me. I'm going, no. She's coming closer and closer, and I'm kind of like. But when she touches my hand, there's a transmission there. Powerful transmission. It's like, you're coming with me. And that's it. And it was not severe or heavy-handed or hard or anything. It was like certainty, just certainty with nothing other. You're coming with me. Okay. And so I'm now out in the circle, and the 6 other guys or gals were there. We're all looking at each other going, what do we do now? They hand us flutes, those pan flutes that you blow in from the Peruvian flutes. And we're expected to play and to dance, and the drumming begins. And it's like, I don't know how to do that. And I didn't know that something within me knew how to do that. That's the preach right there. Something within us, when we get out of the way, when we leave our baggage at the door, something within us has an idea of what's going on. It sort of knows what's going on in some way. This is what they call being in the zone. The musicians know this a lot. You know, all kinds of, like, lots of you know what that is too. Is when the mind disappears and you're just present. So I pick up the flute, I go, oh. And finally I get a tone, and I figure out where the tones are, and all of a sudden, a melody arrives. Whoa! And with that melody comes, the mind is stopped. It's more interested in the tones and the vibration and what's happening than in my fear of looking stupid. And I'm delighted. And when I'm delighted, the whole world seems like it shifts. Ever notice that? So I'm delighted, the world has shifted, and I'm forgetting that I don't know how to dance. And all of a sudden, you know, we're just moving to the beat, and the dust is coming up, and I'm having a great time, and time stops, it disappears. It's like when there is no mind, the world is great. As soon as the mind comes in, it judges, it evaluates, it has its opinions, it has its conditioning, but when it stops, it's precious, it's so precious. And there's nobody home, it's just the dance. The dance is moving, the music is coming, and it's seamless. And in that state, we danced our way right out through the door, out into the moonlight. And it was like, and the moonlight on the water, and the stars and everything, it was like, I don't know if I can take any more. It was like overwhelming, just overwhelming. It's one of those peak experiences that you only need to do once. It's so powerful. And the power is that when we lose our minds, we come into harmony with the one. The mind really is, our thinking mind really is the barrier. Because it's thinking from the past. It's thinking from what has happened in the past. But when we drop that, we become present. And that's the gift. When we become present to what's happening now. So, without diversity, without saying yes, I would have missed a very, very valuable lesson. I can't imagine how many lessons I have missed because I didn't say yes. I said, no, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. Oh, I've done that before. I don't ever want to do it again. I'm not going to get onto that committee because that person is on that committee. And we know about that person. So, here we are. It's all diversity. When we really stop and look at it, it's all diversity. The question is how are we going to dance with it? Are we going to ask each other to dance? Are we going to play? Are we going to push back, push against our comfort zone and step out? Just a little bit, maybe a lot. And could we do that every day? Every day. Diversity is a fact, but inclusion is a choice that we make every single day. So I leave you again with, I want you to remember this, moving from our comfort zone to our growth zone. And so let's have our affirmation. You'll read this with me. Today I welcome all diversity in my life, for it challenges me, humbles me, uplifts me, and makes me a better person. And you know it's true.
The thing that's fun about growth is being in a vulnerable state. And the thing I love about Unity is I think most of us feel pretty comfortable here. And I will leave you with my mantra for life. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. You kept talking about flexible. I had to do that. Okay.
Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. If you are a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. Our prayer chaplains wear the lavender stoles.
Whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, praying with a prayer chaplain is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
And for your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community shown on the screen in front of you. And for those of you watching at home online, there's a donate button on the Watch Live page. And we encourage everyone to avoid fees that the apps charge by setting up an automatic giving to Unity through your bank's bill pay system.
I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Thank you.
Establishing the groove, y'all. Y'all gotta establish the groove. You know what I mean? Remember, establish this groove before you all go out here in these streets. Here we go. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to that affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum and bring gloom down to the minimum, and have faith or pandemonium liable to walk up on the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we've got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and hang on to that affirmative, but don't you mess with Mr. In Between, yeah. Jonah in the whale, Noah in that old ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we've got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and hang on to that affirmative, but don't you mess with Mr. In Between. Noah in that old ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. Oh, no, no, don't mess. Ooh, child. Child, I said, don't you mess. You better not mess. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mrs. In Between. Don't mess with Ms. In Between. Don't do it. Just don't mess with no in between. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wow, yes. Okay, as we bless this offering, we bless the giver and the gift, that it may go forth and multiply and increase the good in our lives and in the lives of those that we touch. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. Thank you. And I think we have some kids.
We are a circle of love.
Only three.
We are a circle of light. Come join the circle of love. Come join the circle of light. The light in you and the light in me are one. The light in you. The light in you and the light in me are one.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Genevieve, and I'm filling in for Michelle, and also Katie's filling in. Michelle and Mike are both not here today. Today, what we learned or talked about was we read this book about a black jaguar who learns how to talk to a human, and how your love can generate no matter what species. And so we made little animals. Some of them brought to share with you. Do you want to share, Pierce, what you made?
I made a bunny. I made a penguin. I made a chicken.
Chicken with a little baby.
Do you want to say something? Thank you. That was the loudest he was this whole morning. Thanks.
Let's take this time to bless our children and teachers together. Children, teachers, and we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Let's rise.
So we're going to close with the prayer for protection. Thank you, Danae. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing. If you like to hold hands, let your neighbor know. You can also take this in through your heart. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. Oh, the power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is wherever I am. God is wherever I am. God is wherever I am. God is the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is 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 good to me.
You are the light, the love, and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun and spread joy. Thank you.
that when he's coming back? We didn't know he was leaving.